DOB Marleys, DOB Knights, DOB Deputy Heaters. So we just had a, I'm just going to go over a couple of things that, we're in a Dynasty League that he's still in, and I dropped out. I didn't get along with the players in there. Also, I did make some mistakes. So I'm going to tell you some trades that I made. Let's see, the first one I did was I traded Amon-Ra in the 2024 high fourth for Gabe Davis, Travis Etienne, Jalen Hyatt, and a low 2025 first. So the big thing here is I was obviously going for Travis Etienne, and he screwed me. Thank you, Travis. Appreciate you. Hope your brother does better. And then the second trade that I made, I flipped Gabe Davis, 2024 low second and a 2025 high third for a 2024 high second. It wasn't bad. Gabe Davis didn't do anything. He's going to continue to do nothing, so not that much. Basically, I traded a low second and a high third for a high second. Third trade that I did was I traded George Pickens, Jalen Hyatt, 2025 high second and 2026 high second for Romeo Doubs and Dalton Kincaid. This one I didn't see that bad. Flipped Jalen Hyatt and then traded George Pickens basically for Dalton Kincaid. That was my main thing. This is a tight end premium league. I thought Dalton Kincaid was going to have a huge year last year. He did not. Hopefully he does this year because I drafted him again. Let's see if I can make the same mistake again. Romeo Doubs, I'm a huge fan of. I can't wait till he gets traded off the Packers, honestly. I think he'll reach his true potential when he does that. It seems like Matt LaFleur and him doesn't really get along too much. That's the kind of vibe I get. But we'll see. The next one I made, which was a bad one, was I traded Puka Nacua for Joe Mixon, Luke McCaffrey, a 2027 high first and a 2025 high second. I guess it's not too bad, but Joe Mixon did, show out last year. But Puka Nacua is way up here. He's one of the elite receivers, and I should have kept him. Not sure what I was thinking on this one besides, trying to get like first. I think most of my decisions were based on like the guy in our league. He has most of the picks for 2025 and then 2024. He just had so many picks that I just wanted to, build my team better. I could give you all the excuses in the world, but it doesn't matter. Still bad trade. The next one I did was Joe Mixon, flipped him for Demario Douglas in the 2026 high second. So didn't even get to use him last year anyway. He's definitely worth more than a high second because Demario Douglas ain't worth too much. The next one I did was I traded Theo Johnson for Ryan Flournoy. He used to play for the Cowboys. Not sure if he still does. And then the 2027 high second and the 2027 high fourth. I guess that was okay. I guess I was going more for the second. Not really sure what Theo Johnson's going to do. I think this is the year that we find out. Most of these trades were 2 years ago anyway. So, or at least like a year and a half, into the off season of 2024. Or 2023, sorry. So, it wasn't too bad, but, Theo Johnson could go work.
He was my sleeper for the loss video last week. Yeah. So hopefully he does.
Yeah. And then this one, I think I won, but I'm a huge Bears fan, and I've been talking about Rome Odunze since the day we started this. Y'all never going to hear me not talk about Rome Odunze. But anyway, I gave up Terry McLaurin, Justin Fields, a 2025 high second and 2026 high third for Rome Odunze. I didn't see anything wrong with that. Terry McLaurin's a little bit older, obviously. Justin Fields is not a good quarterback. If he misses, or if he transitions to like a tight end or receiver, maybe, or even like a running back, like a Cordero Patterson type, maybe. I don't know if he can catch them. Never seen him actually catch a ball. But as far as I'm concerned, I think I won that trade. That was about the only one that I did. The next one I did not like, and I thought that was the dumbest trade I've ever done. Well, second dumbest. But I traded JSN and a 2025 low first for Ladd McConkey and a 2026 high first. Once again, going for those high draft picks for the first rounds coming up, just to compete with the guy who already has so many first round draft picks, but shouldn't have traded JSN. So altogether, basically what happened was altogether I traded Amon-Ra, Puka Nacua, Terry McLaurin, Justin Fields, JSN, Theo Johnson, a 2024 high fourth, a 2024 low second, a 2025 high third, and a 2026 high third. Via keep trade cut, it came out to 41,587 points. And then who I acquired was Travis Etienne, Romeo Dobbs, Dalton Kincaid, Luke McCaffrey, Demario Douglas, Ryan Flournoy, Roma Dunze, Lad McConkey, 2024 high second, 2027 high first, 2027 high second, 2027 high fourth, and the 2026 high first. So now it came out to 43,668. So according to Keep Trade Cut, I won my trades 41,587 versus 43,668. So that's another thing for keep trade cut. Like, it's just a reference. Like, don't use it as the Bible. According to this, I won it, but it's clear as day to me and most likely him. Trading Amon-Ra, Puka, and JSN and getting, a bunch of players, Roman Dunze, Lad McConkey, 2 firsts. I don't think it's really worth it. Just because JSN, Puka, and Amon-Ra individually are worth 2 first rounds each. So I should have ended up with 6 first rounds. And adding it all up, I'd say I got 2 high firsts and Roma Dunze, who's worth like a first and a second, and Lad McConkey, who's worth the same. So I'd say about those were like the ones that I don't think I traded correctly. It could go either way though.
Well, according to the owner of Lad McConkey, now he wants at least 2 firsts for him. So
I think he's worth a first and a second, but to each its own. Yeah. Like Lad McConkey's a rookie. He had blow up numbers last year, so no problem with that.
But yeah, I definitely would not use the just normal trade calculators as the go-to. Maybe more of the floor starter. Like maybe that's what you should start with as a deal and just work your way up. But yeah, we were talking about it off camera, and I feel like the low seconds to early thirds are just way overvalued on those sites. So, and to me, those aren't even like needle movers. That's just like add-ons and maybe spice it up afterwards when you're done. For sure. Did you have any other trades you were going to talk about?
Yeah, I was just going to say like the top 6 because that's what I use to like if I'm doing so many trades to get like versus because you can only put 12 people total in the and keep trade cut. It was 33,186 to 30,595 that I lost. That makes a little bit more sense, but I still think that's kind of low. I think like I said, I think I'm losing about a high first and a mid second around there that I should have capitalized on with JSN, Amon-Ra, and Pua specifically.
And I can review some of my trades I made in that league. I didn't trade that often. Most of my players I have on my team I did draft or drafted in the rookie drafts. But last year, I guess my worst trade in this league was I did trade Trey McBride for a low first and DJ Moore, which looking back at it now, I mean, I guess granted I did end up winning the league, but I still would rather have that tight end safety because it is a tight end premium and I just have a bunch of guys. So I'm just
Who's your best tight end?
Best tight end, probably the Tennessee one, Chig.
Oh, Chig. Gotcha.
Yeah, Chig or Pat Fryermuth. I have a couple of young guys, but no one that I'm comfortable starting every week, really.
Pat Fryermuth got like the end of the stick, though. Like they just got John Newton. And
yeah, I mean, I'm hoping maybe
Darnell Washington still there.
Hoping Aaron Rodgers just dumps it off quick to all the tight ends. Yeah, but, so I'm not too thrilled with my tight end class. But that was actually my only trade I did only trade that was worth mentioning. Like I traded a late third for Calvin Ridley, which I thought that was a pretty good deal for the year. But this year, the only trade I did make was I traded Chris Olave and Jalen Hurts to, in my opinion, upgrade to Joe Burrow. It is a super flex. So my 2 quarterbacks are Jaden Daniels and Joe Burrow. I'm trying to compete once again, trying to get a little deeper, but I feel like I got a decent roster to at least make pretty far into the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, you won the first year, so.
Yeah, and I still have a decent amount of picks. I have I have a first and I think I have all my picks actually for the next 2 years still. I acquired a couple of picks last year, but I ended up trading them away. Oh, that was my other trade. I'm sorry. I did trade last year I traded a first and a second, which ended up being 14th and 14 for Ken Walker, which he did help me for like 7 weeks, and then he got injured. But I guess I needed the points when I needed them. So.
I guess one more piece of advice I wanted to tell you guys is I was focused too much on another teams, like predicting what they're going to do.
All their draft capital.
Yeah. So, like, that's another thing. Like, stick to your team. I kind of think I've learned that lesson now. Is like stick to your team and do what's best for your team. Don't worry about the other managers. It'll all work out itself. So I think I went too hard with I need to compete, so I'm going to trade for a bunch of picks and then kind of beat them that way. But that's not always the best case, and that's obviously what was going. I know that was going through my mind back then, but now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, why did I try him on Rob Puka and Jason? And then like that Roma Dunze, I could have just added him with what I traded: Terry McLaurin, Justin Fields, 2025 high second and 2026 high third, and then I would have had Rome, Amon Ra, Puka, and Jason, and then everything would have worked itself out from there. Because I believe I still had a 2025. No, I had a 2024 low second. So I could have got a running back in that time frame, and just work from there instead of getting 18.
NFL moves fast.
NFL moves fast. All right. The next thing we're going to go over is we just had a draft yesterday. This is a buddy of mine. He wanted to start Dynasty. He's very new to it, very green. So he did a 10-man Dynasty draft. So like I still played along, and went like more younger than most people would just because it's a Dynasty league. I kind of hope it lasts, but my intentions for this league are a little bit low. Hopefully we'll get people back or whatever. There are about I'd say 5 or 6 out of the 10 teams, like I actually felt did pretty well to where like we can keep this dynasty league going, but we'll see. So we did it in a way, actually like this league, where you get to pick where you choose. So let's just say you draw the number 1 spot, then you would pick what pick you want, 1.1 through 1. In this case 10. This other one that I did all the trades in, it was 14 teams. Or is it 12 teams?
Oh, that one was 14.
This one's 14. Okay. That's what we're usually in. So this one was 14 teams, and I think I ended up picking 1.08 or 1.09 around there, but I had my choice at like 6 or 7 pick, something around there. So like I moved down a little bit, basically. It was strategic, obviously. But anyway, I had, I think it was the 4th or 5th pick, and I ended up picking number 10 because 1, 2, and 3 were gone, and then I didn't want to jump ahead and at 4. My friend is a huge Detroit Lions fan, so he wanted Jahmyr Gibbs, and I wanted Jahmyr Gibbs, but I was like, I'm not going to go 1.04. I'll go 1.10, and I already had like a strategy marked down.
Plus, I like always just getting the double, like the back-to-back picks.
Yeah,
it's always nice to have.
Back-to-back is always good. This guy was unfortunate and kind of got roped in, and he got the 1.07 pick. One name off just the first 6 picks.
Yep, well, we could do our at least like starting roster if you want to do that. So like it's only, I guess, technically it's one more.
So like, 7. Oh, okay. Yeah. First 7 picks.
Yeah, I guess that was kind of stupid to say.
Yeah, go first 7. All right. Do you want to go first?
Sure. So I did have 1.07. My first pick was CD Lamb. It's weird to say. I feel like I wouldn't say he's a gamble this year. I know they added George Pickens, but I feel like the Cowboys are just going to be behind in a lot of games. And CD Lamb, I know before George Pickens would get crazy amount of targets. He would get crazy amount of catches, crazy amount of yards. So I'm just kind of hoping, I had a couple of picks I was thinking about, like Malik Neighbors was there, Puka was there, St. Brown was there. But I know he did say this is labeled a dynasty. I'm just not sure if it's going to be a dynasty, so I'd kind of drafted more of it as a yearly team. And I will say my only complaint about the league was, which I'm not going to go into the league, but the only complaint I had with the league was there was 25 rounds. We're only starting 7 people, which was just ridiculous to me. But anyways, off that subject. So I took CD Lamb first overall for me at 1.07. In the second round, I got Brian Thomas Jr. So in my brain, I was like, all right, 2 number 1 receivers on hopefully 2 pass-happy teams.
And young.
And young. So I guess if it did turn into a Dynasty League, I got a couple of young guys. But in a lot of my new redrafts, I know this isn't maybe the best thing to do, but I always like to go double wide receiver then running back. So get your 2 wide receivers, 2 top elite ones. Kind of don't have to worry about it. And but anyways, my 3rd round pick, I picked Omarion Hampton. I'm hoping he has a good year with the Chargers. I know he's battling, I guess, carries with J.K. Dobbins. But we'll see where it goes.
Najee Harris.
Najee. Okay. Yeah. Oh well, then there's no battle there anymore.
Yeah.
He's on Denver right now. Sorry. Mm-hmm. So Omarion Hampton, clear cut number 1 running back.
Random research or article that I saw is Najee Harris lost 20% of his eyesight in one eye. I don't think that's too much to make like a huge difference, but it actually might help him because he doesn't really he doesn't really have ball carrier vision too much anyway. So maybe he just like trusts his instincts and actually like runs through the line. So maybe he maybe does get better with even this injury.
Yeah, he can just cut.
He just cut, just like feel it out.
Anyways, after the 2 wide receivers I took in the first 2 rounds in Omarion Hampton, I went 2 more running backs off the board. My 4th round pick was Kyron Williams. And my 5th round pick, maybe I felt like this was like, maybe I reached on him, but I picked Chuba Hubbard, which, he had a pretty good year with Carolina, but there wasn't too many other running backs kind of in that same category as him after that. So I was like, I'm just going to take another running back. So
were you trying to go Travion Henderson?
I saw. But yeah, I was kind of thinking I had maybe 3 or 4 players in my head, and he was one of them. But all right, 2 more picks. So my 6th round pick, which this is, I wouldn't say my steal of the draft because he's a well-known name, but his just draft value is always really well. I mean, maybe not in Dynasty since he is 32, but in the yearly or maybe for a championship contendership, I would go out and trade for him. But I got Devontae Adams in the 6th round. And then the 7th round, I ended up just getting Travis Kelce for my tight end 1.
All right, so I had 1.10, obviously. I went Malik Neighbors. I liked him. I had my choice of Amon-Ra or Puka Nacua. I decided to go Malik Neighbors. I can't remember. I think I had Nacua over Neighbors in my dynasty rankings, but
I think we both had Neighbors at wide receiver 3.
Okay. So definitely Chase and then Jefferson. So.
Yeah.
Okay. So I did pick who I would normally pick. I don't know. I just felt the need after thinking it over, and I was like, I'm going to pick Malik Neighbors. I decided to go with him over. I decided to go with Malik Neighbors over Amon-Ra and Puka Nacua. 2.01, I picked Brock Bowers. I'm a huge Brock Bowers guy. Once again, this one actually is tight end premium as well. And Brock Bowers is going to get targets, yards. The only thing I guess he needs to improve on is touchdowns. But I don't know. I'm a big believer in Brock Bowers, and that's who I was going to get no matter what, either at 1.10 or 2.01. 3.10, I got Jason, Jackson Smith, and Jigba. 4.01, I got Travion Henderson. 5.10 I felt was a steal. Ended up not being Patrick Mahomes. The reason why I think it's a steal is because, he's going to put up numbers no matter what. You don't really have to worry about anything. He's a little bit older, of course, but I had plans for that, and I'll tell you that in a minute.
Well, those touchdowns of Travis Kelce.
I guess so. I mean, he has Rashae Rice back. Well, maybe after week 6. And then Xavier Worthy's coming back. So we'll see. And then finally, 6.01, my boy, Roma Dunze. Fair down. Always going to pick him. Like I said, I think he's going to have a huge year this year and just continue on from there. 7? Or did I do 7?
Yeah, I did 7.
Okay, 7. 7, I picked Caleb Williams. Fair down once again. Went for, more of a young quarterback just in case Patrick Mahomes suddenly goes down. Their offense line has been getting weaker and weaker every year. For the past 4 years. So Caleb Williams, so we'll see what we do there. We're on beat.
Oh, we were doing the whole draft?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm going to have to check this.
That's good. I can go real quick. 8.01, I picked Zay Flowers. 9.10, I picked Zach Charbonnet. But I had a choice between Stephon Diggs and Aaron Jones. And Aaron Jones is obviously going to get more carries, but I actually had a plan. I was going to get Jordan Mason later in the draft. That didn't work out. So good thing I did draft Zach Charbonnet. 10.01, I got Dalton Kincaid. 11.10, I got Kyle Pitts. Got 2 back-to-back tight ends, young tight ends, just in case, Brock Bowers manages to suck. I don't see that happening. But also we have a flex anyway that I can put one of those tight ends there if I need to. I'll stop at 12. At 12, I got Jaden Reed. And then I could have gone Brian Robinson or Jordan Mason. I have a weird feeling for Jaden Reed. Like, I know they just got Matt Golden and they're looking for that receiver 1, but I feel like Jaden Reed has produced, and Jordan Love loves to look for him. Jordan Love loves to look for him underneath, and I feel like Jaden Reed runs a lot of underneath routes. I didn't know, actually, he is dealing with some injury on his foot, and he says that it actually causes him strain when he's doing his cuts and his routes. Didn't know that, so heads up to you guys if you got Jaden Reed. He is going to require all-season surgery, they already said, but he's going to try to work through the season to see if he can make it to the season.
All right, and then for my number 8 pick, all right, this is where I feel like my draft starts to go a little rocky. To be fair, it was like, normal standard, like Yahoo draft or something, so it's like 2 minutes per pick. And I was driving home while it was raining, so I was trying to pick as kind of quickly as possible. So this is definitely probably one of my first mistakes. I did take Jordan Addison. Nothing wrong with the player. Just suspended for 4 weeks.
Yeah.
So just gotta wait that out.
I actually like that pick, to tell you the truth.
I would have taken like Zay Flowers or someone else over him, which you got him a couple picks later, and then there's some other players I probably would have taken over him just because of the suspension. But yeah, I don't mind Jordan Addison. I think he'll be a good player. Just kind of comes down if JJ McCarthy is relatively good. And then pick 9, my first quarterback off the board was CJ Stroud. And the next round, actually, Drake May went. I'm a big believer in Drake May, and I really wanted him in A-League. I've been striking out all over with Drake May. So I was a little bitter about that. But I did take maybe a person Drake May will be throwing touchdowns to, which was Stephon Diggs in the 10th round. I did take Tyrone Tracy in the 11th. I know Cam Scatterby will probably be creeping in his playing time, but I do think Tyrone Tracy is a very good receiving back. And then with my 12th pick, I took Tucker Kraft, so he's technically my backup to Travis Kelce. And it's kind of funny. We'll throw you a little inside story with this draft, because this is definitely when the defensive players start going. And we only start one defensive player in this league, and I'm honestly not even a fan of that, but it's whatever. But one of our friends, probably around round 14, and like I said, there's 25 rounds. He put his on auto draft, and he drafted 9 straight defensive players, which was very funny to me. But go ahead.
All right, so at 13.10, I got Jalen Warren, and 14.01, I got Tank Bigsby. I was really hurting for a running back. I only kind of freaked out a little bit because you have to start 2 running backs no matter what. So I kind of went 2 running backs, but Josh Downs was there and Woody Marks was there. I felt like I went for more veteran players than anything. Josh Downs was there, but I already had 2, 3, 4, 5 receivers at the time, so I was like, I'll just go 2 running backs. So that's why I didn't pick Josh Downs. 15.10, I got Cam Ward, who I thought it was a steal in the 15th round, especially for a dynasty and drafting like a young quarterback. I know I already had Caleb and Patrick Mahomes, but
I took 3 quarterbacks too.
Yeah, but I just wanted to get Cam Ward because I was like, that could be a steal, 16.01, I went Trey Benson. 17.10, I went Darnell Mooney. 18.01, I went Kyle Manangai. 19.10, I went Cedric Tillman. And that one, I was debating between Cedric Tillman and Rashad White. I went for Cedric Tillman because I've been hyping up Cedric Tillman a little bit. He's going to be a receiver too. I did a little show on him not too long ago. So I was like, oh, I'll eat my words. Let me take Cedric Tillman. 20.01, I got Pat Bryant, finally. I told you guys last time that I wanted to draft Pat Bryant, and I got him. I didn't care if it was high or not. I just wanted to get Pat Bryant in one league just to have a little thing. So I took his little thing. He did one on Will Shipley, and then I was like, you know what? That's not a bad idea. Saquon might, take a little bit of rest this year, especially after this big 2,000-yard season. Will Shipley is definitely going to be the running back 2 over A.J. Dillon. So I took him, and then Trevor Etienne. And I was debating between those two, and then Terrence Ferguson, his tight end, which he ended up taking, and Jalen McMillan from the Bucks.
He did go pretty low.
He did go really low. McMillan, yeah. So I don't know why, but every time I see him, he's making an amazing catch, Jalen McMillan. So I assume when Godwin and Mike Evans are gone, it's going to be a Guka, McMillan, and then they have another one. Maybe no one.
No, the only thing I know, they released Trey Palmer. That's the other thing.
Yeah. Oh, well, maybe
Sterling Shepard.
Maybe K-Dot. I don't know. And then finally, 23.10, I picked Matt Stafford. 24.01, I picked Shedeur Sanders. Matt Stafford is just a buffer for if Caleb Williams gets hurt, Cam Ward sucks, and Patrick Mahomes has a bye week. And then Shedeur Sanders, well, he's injured. He might be injured. You never know. Matt Stafford's old. He's having back issues. They're injecting shit with him, so I don't know. And then also, I was thinking I could have got Bryce Young or Romeo Doubs. In between those two, I picked Stafford. I was going to pick him regardless, so it more came down to Shedeur Sanders, Bryce Young, and Romeo Doubs. I didn't want 2 Packers receivers, even though I think Romeo Doubs is gone after this year or when his contract ends. So I just picked Shedeur Sanders just in case. And then the last pick, I finally picked IDP, which I ended up with Trayvon Walker.
That's funny. Well, and James released about 8 of them, so
I have my pick now.
All right. And then my final, I'll just kind of go through this relatively quickly. After, what was it? 13.7, I took Jordan Love, which is kind of funny because he says him and CJ Stroud are the same quarterback. So
I see that. They're not going to lose your games. They're not going to win your games. I think Jordan Love is a safer pick than CJ Stroud. And I think he has a better overall team around him, offense-wise.
Probably. And then after that, I took Josh Downs, which I guess I'm a fan of. I think he definitely produces for the quarterbacks he has.
Yeah, whichever one.
And then, whoever's throwing the ball. And then at round 15, I took Nick Chubb. And then I took J.K. Dobbins, so 2 kind of veteran running backs I know.
With beats that are exploding.
Yeah, they're fine.
It might work.
J.K. always gets 1,000 yards.
Yeah, when he's open.
And then in round 17, I don't even know if he's going to play this year, honestly, but I took Brandon Ayuk. I was like, yeah, I'll risk this late pick, especially since we had to release 3 people anyways.
I honestly thought that was a really good pick. Not releasing, putting on Taxi Squad.
Well, Taxi Squad. I couldn't put all my players on Taxi Squad, so I had to release them.
He changed it, actually. He called me this one.
Well, it doesn't matter. No one picked them up.
Oh, you released Brandon Ayuk?
No, I released Amari Cooper, and I think that's it. And then everybody else I put on the Taxi Squad.
Gotcha.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Off topic. Yeah. And then I took I took 2 defenders. I took Jermaine Sherwood. He's a linebacker for the Jets. I don't know too much about him, honestly. He's just on a couple of my dynasty teams, and he gets a shit ton of tackles. And then I took second-year Packers linebacker, Edgerrin Cooper. This is his first year just starting, so I'm just hoping he's the main piece in the middle. Pick 20, I picked Xavier Legette, so I believe he's the second receiver on Carolina right now.
I think Coker got hurt, too, over the weekend. We're at practice.
Did he get released? I thought he got released.
Oh, dang. Well, I know.
We'll look that up later.
Yeah.
And then round 21, I took Dante Thornton, the rookie out of not Oakland, Vegas. I've been hearing a lot of good stuff about him in training camp. Then I took one of the Rams tight ends, Terrence Ferguson, and then Amari Cooper, which I did release because we drafted too many people, I guess. And then around 24, I took Joe Mixon, so I have both the Hurdy guys from Houston. But, I feel like Joe Mixon, if he plays, it was whatever. It was 24th pick. And then my final pick, Mr. Irrelevant for my team, was Bryce Young. So I got my 3 quarterbacks right there. I'm hoping one of them can be pretty consistent. I don't know how I feel about Bryce Young this year. He should have a better year, but who knows? I mean, he did get benched already.
Yeah. I feel like they have enough around him where they can,
figure out if they're going to keep him.
Yeah. So like this would be the year they gave him a huge red zone target, and I think that's what they were missing last year is who you're gonna pass to in the end zone.
Yeah.
And like Ted McMillan is definitely 6'6", and that's what I expected from him anyways. Touchdowns, not really receiving yards and receptions, which can be very volatile for your team. So that was good for Ted McMillan to go to Carolina. Chuba also can catch out of the backfield. So. So that's it for today. Next week we're probably gonna go, into our season, and then I want to do add drops. Who you should add after week 1. Sometimes there's little loners out there that people forgot about, or that just blew up for no reason. Whether that's linebackers, which most of them will be, or it's receiver, off receiver, or running back that's still there. Saturday I'm gonna go over. Not parlays week, but how many yards I think certain people will get, 50, 65, 80, all that. I kind of did a start on that this past Saturday for those, and but I didn't have any realistic numbers to compare that to week. So we'll do that on Saturday, and then next week, like I said, we'll talk about our leagues, see if we will win or or because we film these on Mondays, so we'll see if we have a chance of winning, and we'll kind of go over that. Let us know if you have any comments or anything you want us to discuss, during this season, and if not, we love football. We'll talk about anything and everything. We'll probably go more into player news as it drags along the season. So, like I said, let us know if you need anything or want us to talk about anything.
And if you're interested in biased team news, we'll probably have some of that too.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I might even do a after every Bears game, talk about what I like, what I dislike, but we'll see. I might do that on a Monday night or Tuesday night. We'll see. All right, peace out, y'all. Let us know if you have any questions.